If you've been online like in the past decade, I'm sure that you've heard of all these gaming groups coming together, whether it's FaZe Clan or various esports teams. Gaming has really grown into this super corporate thing, even on the player side. And with that came 100 Thieves, and 100 Thieves is a company that I first heard about when they signed Vinny Hacker, and I heard about again when JonTron made a video about them. So I never really had like the hugest admiration for them, even though that's the weirdest sentence I've ever said. I just really didn't regard them as much of anything, and then I heard about this drama and really just made me think about it. So I really wanted to talk about this. So one of their former employees, Froste, was a part of this smaller subgroup of 100 Thieves called the Mob, and he complained about his time working in the Mob under 100 Thieves in a couple of tweets, and the one that really interested me was $2,500 each month in rent while only getting paid $1,600. There were so many days where we had to skip meals because we couldn't afford to buy food unless we begged our parents to send us money. It's truly a wonder why Mako wanted to leave the Mob and move back with his family. Now with this tweet, a new player entered the arena by the name of Nadeshot. He is the guy who's currently in charge of 100 Thieves, and he replied with a picture of Frost taking a picture of his setup, which was surrounded by DoorDash bags. So from the beginning, his story seemed a little bit shaky. Now I want to show you guys two more clips that put his story really into a ton of doubt. A ton.
Within 10 to 15 minutes of Nadeshot's house. Now keep in mind, Nadeshot's house is in the center of Los Angeles, right? One of the most expensive cities in the world, in one of the most expensive neighborhoods in the most expensive city in the world. The man's house is valued at over $10 million, bro. How are we supposed to find a house that's within 10 to 15 minutes of that, that's less than 10 grand? Zillow listings. All of LA. 4 bedrooms. Like, the options in question, bro. 2,000 square feet. Like, 8K. This is an apartment.
It's wild for someone to go from, oh, well, nothing near his house was even close to under 10,000. We had no other option. We had to pay that much. Things were stretched so thin. We could do nothing about it. It was so bad. I don't even know what we were gonna do. And then just a little bit later, he literally pulls up listings and all of them are under 10K. And he says, oh, well, they're apartments. Well, you don't have that much money. Beggars can't be choosers. This is a saying that's lasted a while for a reason. That's because it's true. You can't just, I really wonder what goes through people's like this head, you know? And Nadeshot started to respond to him, and he gave a really pretty good response. I'll say that to all of this.
The proof is in the pudding, guys. I had thought that we were giving them a big opportunity. Okay, from individuals that were averaging just a couple hundred viewers, if not lower some days, having them be a part of a tier 1 organization like 100 Thieves. I thought, on top of the fact that we brought them out to LA and we moved 4 best friends into a home together, I thought that this could only be productive. This could only be, the perfect situation and scenario for all of these guys. They didn't work. They didn't make videos. They didn't stream. They got here, and we'll never know why it is that it panned out the way that it did. But if you really want to go look at stats, and you really want to look at the work that was done while we're bringing these deals in, while we're paying these salaries, and while we're supporting them as much as we can with the employees that we have, the resources that we've created for ourselves, and the platform that we have built along with our community, that mentality that we had back in the day where you eat what you kill, they weren't uploading.
You know, I think it's crazy how you could sit there and say, oh, we weren't making enough money, but you aren't putting out content. You aren't working after your goal. In fact, before this whole drama, Frost hadn't streamed in 3 months. 3 months. Like, the key to being successful in content, like you look at all the channels that have blown up, like especially commentary channels, is being consistent and putting work in and putting effort in. Even Mueller, he puts videos out very rarely, but the reason people enjoy them is because he takes so much time. He literally just put out a almost 6-hour video on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and he spent like countless hours working on it. That movie came out in like April or May, and he just now dropped a video on it, and that video is very well made because he took the time and put the effort in, and Frost wasn't putting in the effort. Maybe there were, personal things going on. I'm not saying that he never tried, but I'm saying that you got to be able to work through that stuff. You can't sit there and complain about it and then be like, oh well, we just felt like we didn't have to work, we felt it would all come together. Now, Nadeshot also said something that I really disagree with.
That we took 95% of their sponsorship deals that we brought to the mob. That is unequivocally, undeniably, without a shadow of a doubt, untrue. It is absolutely untrue. There is no basis for Frosty to say this. At one point, I have an email that the key terms of these deals that we bring to the mob, we would retain 85% of revenue. We did 3 deals for them, and two out of the 3 deals, they took home 65% of the revenue from that deal. Okay, 65% of the revenue from that deal.
I just find it really odd that you would be like, oh, there's no basis for this 95% claim. We took 85% actually. I don't know other people have pointed this out, but like, that's a lot. Like that's a big chunk right there. That's not, chump change. I understand that like they're bringing them the deals, right? 100 Thieves is facilitating the deals, but these deals are being given because of the big names. They coexist. One cannot exist without the other. I really think that it should be at 50-50 at most, because like, hey, we're bringing this to you and you're the talent and you got to take us home. I don't know, maybe that's just my lack of business knowledge talking. Maybe I just really am missing the point here, but to me, that's what makes the most sense. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Now, I do want to show this last little clip of Frost. There's literally a ton of reasons to lie.
Because
like,
for me
you
to
have
provide proof,
very little to lose.
like, what is there to
if you
provide
get
proof of?
exposed?
Like,
and
why would I
a
be
lot to
lying?
gain, a lot in sympathy, a lot
Like, I would have to
watch
show
time,
text
people watching you talk
messages.
about
Like,
it.
this is what
a
I
lot
mean, bro.
of,
This is why I wanted
brand recognition and brand growth through the fact that people are talking about you. Like, if a ton of people start talking about you, you're gonna get a huge boost, especially in this online space where a lot of things come off of popularity. If you go out there and you get big enough and popular enough, like, obviously people are going to be talking about you, and that's going to give you a boost. If you think that it's not going to give you a boost, I don't know why you just don't understand how it works. I mean, you'd have to be like really young, like watching Cocomelon, to not get that. So I feel like this is something that someone who's guilty would say, just so that some of their fans can be like, oh, here's an answer that we can point to, right? And then we see this all the time, somebody in like a fandom or like let's say like a Dream or Tommy in it or something. Not saying that they specifically do this, but I'm just using them as an example. So let's say they decide, okay, well, we're just gonna say X, Y, and Z, right? Because we got accused of this. And our fans are gonna just take that as gospel because they trust us and they agree with us. I feel like that's what he's doing, really. Just trying to put up a shield of, oh, here's what I had to say. I have nothing to gain. Why would I lie? Why would I lie? So you could get name recognition. People can know about you. Like, I didn't know about this guy until I started researching this whole drama. So he's getting his name out there. Overall, I really do think, from the information that I've seen, that Frost is in the wrong. I don't think that they should be taking that much in sponsorships, but I'm not really like super versed in like YouTuber sponsorship e-commerce. Like, that's just not my area of expertise at all. So I really couldn't tell you, oh, they should actually be taking 2.75% of 2/3 because that's actually the best way of doing it. Like, no, I have no clue. Just being real. But Frost's story has just seemed so weird. He hasn't really provided any real evidence, and the 2 claims I showed got debunked already. So I don't even know what other claims he's made. I haven't seen any other ones. Like, what else can you really say? I mean, people are already starting to not believe you. I don't know how he messed this up, because if you really think about it, a lot of times when people get into dramas, a lot of times the public will take the side of the smaller guy, because they think of like a David and Goliath type of situation, and they're like, we're gonna stand up for the little guy, we're gonna go to bat for the little guy. And in this instance, the little guy just kept messing up over and over and over again and lying, to the point of where a ton of people are now not believing in him. He either should have went about this a different way, or just kept his mouth shut, in all honesty, because he really shot himself in the foot. But thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Goodbye.